part 2 greases. So again, if you remember this slide already we have shown. So where you feel greases can be used or are useful. Modality and this slide I have shown to you. So where you feel greases should be used. This area, these two areas, greases are useful. This is specific requirement. How you identify? The grease can be used here. Why not here? Why not here?
So we want them to get grease to be placed for a long period of time.
So sealing is one issue. Then
Heat transfer.
heat transfer. So grease is not good heat transfer. Heat transfer is not.
इन ऑयल में तो सब हीट ट्रांसफर में करा लेते हैं ना, इसके थ्रू कैसे कराते हैं?
If you can dip into oil, so oil is a better thermal conductor compared to greases. So here you can see the type of contacting stresses. Here it's a line contact. Greases if you see gears almost point, but you can say line contact also here. It's a point contact. So these are the severe contacts. Line contact and point contact. So as the contact area is small, contacting stresses will be higher. So contacting stresses are increasing.
Hello.
कौन है?
ऑफ है कहीं और बोल रहा है कोई कहीं नीचे तो नहीं है नीचे वाला
हाँ नीचे तो नीचे
हो सकता है तो ये
So
कर रहा है
here contacts are more severe, and we need kind of confinement so that sealing agents. And again, the next slide also already we have discussed what is the practical objective. This. So this is also discussed, and understanding this is also discussed. So for this, what is grease made up of? How does it lubricate? What is the problem with oil? So these are small things. Then we'll go after some fundamentals, some details. And how does grease look like? Maybe all of you have seen, but somebody may have done some say that. So very interesting question is, can we eat greases or grease? Can you eat? This is very interesting question. ग्रीस खा सकते हैं कि नहीं? Jam is like grease, but it's not grease. So he has given good example. So this is what I think now people are working. If you see greases, so and in food industry, so you need special arrangement so that contamination should not go to your foods, or if it is pharmaceutical industry. So because if there is a machine and it is moving and you are using greases, because they are not leaking, so liquid system is mostly greases. So if they are leaking and they are going to some medicine or your food, so it can spoil the whole system. So can we make a grease which is as good as you can eat it? Means even if it is going to your medicines or food industry, so you can survive with that. So that is the basic question. So it should not harm your health. So based on the understanding, then we can comment whether we can make a eatable grease or not. So what is grease? First, if you look at this, so grease, if you see the category of lubricant, liquid gases, so semi-solid category we are saying it's a grease. But in greases, if you define grease, so according to ASTM standard, solid to semi-solid lubricant, solid also it can be, solid to semi-solid lubricant consisting of a thickener in liquid lubricant. So thickener, liquid lubricant, other ingredients imparting special properties may be included. So thickener, liquid lubricant and other additives. So three things. Oil, normally that liquid, because we know oil lubricates, and thickener is something what we can choose. So if you have oil and you have this thickener and you have the particles or the additives what you want to add for your special purpose. So now we don't know about the greases. We are just trying to start the understanding for grease. We know only three things: oil, fiber, or basically the thickener you can say, and something your special property agent. So out of this, if you have to develop eatable grease, so how you should go for it? Oil consolidation, because the constituent only you have to choose. Only if your constants are eatable, then only the eatable product will come out. Oils, what oil you can take? Vegetable oils, and this fibers. अभी फाइबर का हमें रोल नहीं पता सही से, तो शायद हम उसके बारे में कमेंट नहीं कर पाएंगे. बट इफ यू हैव टू यूज सम फाइबर which is existing in the nature, then it's fine. And the particles, suppose our target is to reduce the friction. So friction reducing agents can be what? Your nanoparticles may be there. Which nanoparticle you should use? Which have some kind of lubricating property, and they are almost solid lubricant, and they should be harmless to your health and the environment. So you can take, say, if you are going for environmental friendly, so like alumina is most inert particle, so whether you can use that or not. You can take, say, nanoparticles of MOS2, so whether it's environmental friendly or healthy is or not. So these particles you can choose. So I will come back as the slides will go. So now questions: if you are choosing something, these fibers or the thickener, so what keeps the oil into the fiber? So best example you can think, मधुमक्खी का छत्ता देखा है ना, तो मधुमक्खी के छत्ते में आपके जो एक केस होता है, उस केस के अंदर हनी होता है, तो हनी इज योर ऑयल, और स्ट्रक्चर जो है आपका दैट इज योर फाइबर. फाइबर क्या है? आप एक क्या बोलते हैं, मोम बोलते हैं ना उसको, मधुमक्खी का जो मोम होता है, वैक्स, वो वैक्स जो आपका थिकनर है. So you can use that kind of system. So that is oil trapped into that thickener, and special additive is there, the sweetness. So that is you can consider semi-solid kind of system. So in the same way, these fibrous structure, they are holding oil into that case, that honeycomb structure, case by van der Waals forces, capillary forces, and mechanical operations. So these are the three processes. This oil is being trapped into greases, and you can add special additives. So grease versus oil, if you see, so better sealing property, right? Less dripping or spattering. Better EP properties for greases. Better water wash resistant, washable resistant. But these are the two drawbacks. So low speed you cannot use for high speeds. Removed for confinement particles. If some particle or wear debris they get generated during process, that will be dropped into the system. It will not go out. So these are the two disadvantages. So you can say pros and cons. So applications where grease normally we use. So not frequently accessible or sealed for life. So like electric motors, gearboxes. So normally we fix once, and if major failure is happening, then only you open it. So where repair is not frequent and running intermittently, मतलब under extreme conditions. Intermittently running means what? गियर बॉक्स में आप हम गाड़ी सब चलाते हैं तो कितनी बार गाड़ी गियर चेंज करना पड़ता है? मतलब you never know how many times, but it is very frequent. But whenever you are changing the gear, so each time your gearbox is going to face different contact situations, contact stresses. So that is intermittent contact is changing instantaneously, and because the contact stresses are higher, so normally they run extreme or bonding lubrication conditions. Extreme conditions. So what is grease? First question. What is grease? Again, base oil. So now we are trying to add how much oil is reported in the literature. So they say 60 to 95% oil can be there into greases. And then thickener. Thickener is your wax. So what it can be 5 to 40%. And main role is your binding action. Additive, it can be 0 to 10%, and special flavor you can give by adding this. So boost additives are used, boost the existing properties. These additives suppress the undesirable properties and introduce new properties. So if we are targeting eatable greases, so you can choose base oil, some vegetable oil, something like wax, both eatable. But now if you need some special properties, the only chance you can play is the additive. So you can boost the existing properties, suppress and introduce new properties. So like this you have to. But what this additive will be, that is something you have to choose very carefully. And that is where the research is required. So, and this affects the lubricants, these things. And they affect the surfaces also. And now in last class I missed that portion. So base oils, this base oil, so they can be mineral oil, synthetic oil, vegetable oils. And thicknesses can be metallic soaps, metal complex soaps, polyurea, polymers. So these all they can be your thickeners. So out of this you have to choose which is good for your health or at least environmental friendly. And like the same way you have these additives also. एंटीऑक्सीडेंट्स, कोरोजन इनहिबिटर, एंटीवीयर, इसके बारे में कुछ कमेंट? व्हाट इज एंटीऑक्सीडेंट? जो स्पेशल पर्पस एडिटिव्स हैं, एडिटिव्स वी आर सेइंग एग्जिस्टिंग प्रॉपर्टीज और सप्रेस बैड प्रॉपर्टीज, इंट्रोड्यूस न्यू प्रॉपर्टीज. सो मेनली दिस, सो मे बी मोर बट मेनली दे आर. एंटीऑक्सीडेंट मींस व्हाट?
ब्लड वेसल्स में ज्यादा मिनरल्स या ज्यादा नाइट्रिक एनवायरनमेंट क्रिएट करते हैं.
नहीं, अभी ब्लड की ब्लड वेसल्स की बात मत करो क्योंकि हम अच्छा आप एंटीऑक्सीडेंट बोल रहे हो. नहीं, यस, व्हाट इज योर आइडिया? व्हाट इज योर आइडिया?
ऑक्सीडेशन प्रोसेस को
स्टॉप करें. तो अभी यहाँ पर आपका ऑक्सीडाइज कौन हो रहा है? जो ग्रीसेज है. You are on the right point, but the requirement is different. So mainly when you heat the oil, so environmental oxygen, it reacts with the oil components and we say oil oxidized. So if you can add some additives which avoid the interaction from the environment with the oil, so these are acting as an antioxidant for the oil. In case of our blood, it may be some other bacteria. And corrosion, already you know, which can restrict. Anti-wear, already discussed. Extreme pressure. Extreme pressure and anti-wear में difference क्या है? Extreme pressure and anti-wear additive. दोनों एक जैसे लगते हैं ना देखने में, सुनने में. So,
मतलब वो खुद ही ना बियर होने लगी, या फिर वो खुद ही बियर ना करे. एक्सट्रीम प्रेशर में बाहर से प्रेशर ले हुए तो कितना ट्रांसफर कर रहे हैं.
एंटी वियर खुद ही वियर में होने लगे, मतलब वो ऐसा करे कि खुद को सेक्रीफाइस कर दे पर मेटल को ना वियर हो.
मेटल को
So that is some, if they have the capability to form a layer on the tribal layer or contacting surfaces, so that metal to metal contact can be avoided. And then this bearing itself, so that we can say it's an anti-wear coating has been developed in this. And extreme pressure means the ability of the molecules to withstand the extreme pressure, boundary lubrication, so that welding should not happen. So basically, the same kind of molecule, they can play the same role with both the roles. And what is this viscosity index? Change in the viscosity with respect to temperature, and that we want as high as possible, so that improvement. Because if change in viscosity with temperature is happening, basically your degradation is oil is happening, so that we want as stable as possible. So role of oil. So oil can be your minerals, and also just something quickly. So quickly I will go. So oils, it can be morning I was talking this grade 1, grade 2. So this is based on oil companies standard. So they have some saturated this sulfur base. So based on the sulfur amount and this viscosity index, they are saying this grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. So different. So this is characterization or categorization of oil based on industrial standards. So you can have, as morning I was talking, this paraffin, isoparaffin, naphthenes, aromatics, polyaromatics, different oil categories we have. And in synthetic we have PAO, PAG, esters. So different structures can be of these oils. These are the things which you can think for if you want green greases or environmental friendly greases. So we have to think for this natural triglycerides. So these are the oils, some natural oils, some fatty, animal fats. This kind of structure they have. And finally, again complex structure. This is something about the chemistry of the oils. So chemistry of the greases, the role of thickener. So when you call fiber, can I call this wire a fiber or not? Any wire, this wire or this wire or this wire. Can I call this as a fiber? No. So there is a criteria. If length is from 1 micron to 100 micron and L by D ratio, length by diameter ratio is 10 to 100, then we can call as a fiber. And fiber can be, this is something what chemistry when I don't understand everything. So here, solubility of the fiber into oils, that is one thing. Then carbon chain length is one thing, and affect this carbon chain length of the oil, that affects the surface property, and that affects the molecular chain length, more the solubility in the oil, reducing the thickening. So that how much the ability of a thickener, it depends on these properties. So what is the ability of a thickener to trap the oil? That depends upon these properties. And this soap, this is one example. Maximum thickening effect came from 18 carbon chain length. So this soap, this is one thickener, and if it has 18 carbon chain length, you can get good property. And branching, so high melting, lower melting point, hence thickening effect is better. And saturation, more solubility, and hence reduced thickening effect. And hydroxyl group increases melting point and polarity. So this is something with these things. And bigger fiber, better shear yield. So this is something you will understand in coming slides. So some of these properties I will explain, some of the properties maybe you have to read your fiber. They are basically needed when you are developing grease. And how grease looks like. So these are the greases which we develop in our lab itself. So one of my PhD student, his name is Ankit, he is working on the greases. So he developed these greases, and some name he has given. some number. So this is commercial grease. This one. So grease color is changing with respect to different additives and all. So by colors you cannot say. So when you see macroscopically, it looks like this. But when you go under microscope, it looks like this. So as I was saying, the case or the honeycomb style. And we add suji and we add some additives. जैसे में बनाना दिखाया ना, और लोगों ने आपको actually this is grease. You mix the nanoparticles or you melt this oil. You mix these thickeners into the oil. You heat the mixture below dipping point, dropping point of the oil, adding the thickener to the heated mixture with the rigorous mixing, and when you cool down, you get greases. And this is the way those earlier greases were shown to you, they were made. This is oil with the thickener, and just to start, keep on heating, and just keep on mixing it, let it heat. But heating you have to do up to this temperature. Dropping below the, if it is above that, then it will not. So, what is the feature of the greases? If you see the developments from, so it was started with the animal fats. So it was green, environmental friendly, and then over the time it came to yellow category. Then in between, along with this time scale you can follow, it became all red. Red means not environmental friendly. Then again now we are trying to shift towards yellow or towards ultimately green. Green means now you have to go for plant-based system. And this is the category of the oils where you can select. So kind of greases you can make. So high performance green greases. Now this is the ultimate target. 2020 is the plan. Maybe you can go to the extent. So for that strong vegetable oil we have to go, and thickener we have to take something from the nature. If you are not exploring the nature, which is your plants, so this target may not be achieved. But something yellow level you can go. These metallic soaps, vegetable oil. So you are almost like 50% biodegradable, 50% is not. So you can go for this kind of system. And this is what the feature. So one of my that greases which I have shown. So he is working into this area. We want to make a grease which is completely green, and we got some success also, and somewhere we still developing. I will be showing you some different work as well. So character of greases already we have discussed this thing. So drop point consistency, conductivity, compatibility. So these are just for information. So we have to concentrate on this variability, and if you have to characterize greases, how you should characterize? This is something important. Because you develop grease in your lab, you decided your ingredients, you have different greases, and that you have to now understand that. So characterization, how you will do that? So you made the grease. So first you have to do chemical characterization. Then how it looks, so you can see physical characterization, and what is the mechanical response, and then what is under dynamic or thermodynamic conditions or responses are there. So if you have to characterize chemical characterization, so FTIR, Raman and XRD. So these different techniques you can use for chemical characterization. So roughly I can say FTIR will tell you what kind of functional groups, FTIR and Raman also, they will tell you what kind of functional groups are present, chemical functional groups are present in that additive, in that oil, and whether they are deformed or damaged when they are into greases. So change in their condition can be tracked by using this FTIR, Raman. XRD will tell you the phases. The difference between here, FTIR, Raman, phase and functional group. दोनों का डिफरेंस है, फेज एंड फंक्शनल ग्रुप। दोनों में डिफरेंस क्या, फेज एंड फंक्शनल ग्रुप। देखो आपके हाइड्रोकार्बन CH3 CH2 CH3, यस
फंक्शनल ग्रुप्स मतलब है कि मतलब एलिमेंटल एनालिसिस कर रहे हैं, जैसे कि
एलिमेंटल एनालिसिस इज डिफरेंट।
एक्सआरडी में सर फेज देखते हैं, जैसे कि आयरन वगैरह में फेजेस होते हैं।
आयरन फेज नहीं, आयरन एलिमेंट है।
आयरन एलिमेंट है सर, उसके अंदर जो फेजेस होते हैं ना सर,
जैसे नाम बताना वो
सीमेंटाइट, फेराइट,
हाँ।
ऑस्टेनाइट, बेनाइट।
तो सीमेंटाइट एक फेज है, ऑस्टेनाइट
ये एक फेज है।
एक फेज है, बट कैन यू आइडेंटिफाई दैट? Yes, you can identify by XRD. You can.
XRD और SEM.
So you can identify these phases by tracking that at particular frequency or the angle. In case of XRD, you will be having some angle. So that will tell you what kind of phases are present in your system. Suppose you have added alumina nanoparticles. So alumina have Al2O3. So whether it is a alpha alumina है तो वो beta alumina तो transform नहीं हुआ. So you can track alpha alumina, beta alumina, or some transformation into that. Or if you added, say, this MS2, WS2, so whether they are into that form or not, or they changed. So that kind of thing. FTIR will tell you the functional group, like CH3, COS2, COH group, COO double bond. So these are the groups. And the EDS will tell you energy dispersive spectroscopy, that will tell you the elements. So that is not included, and that cannot be used. Then this is surface analysis. So SEM, so this you can use. So pretty important here. So when we say greases, you have to characterize, and we are saying solid, semi-solid. So we know how to characterize solids, है ना? सॉलिड कैसे कैरेक्टराइज करते हैं? नॉर्मली सबसे पहला कुछ भी हम डेवलप करते हैं, देखते हैं कि मतलब आते हाथ में आते देखते हैं कि दबा के वो डिफॉर्म होना है कि नहीं, उसके हार्डनेस कितना है, हाउ हार्ड इट इज। सो इफ इट इज सेमी सॉलिड तो हम चेक करते हैं कि हार्डनेस कितना है। तो उसकी हार्डनेस को हम हार्डनेस नहीं बोलते हैं, वी से कंसिस्टेंट। सो फॉर ग्रीसेस वी शुड नॉट यूज हार्डनेस, वी शुड यूज हाउ कंसिस्टेंट ए ग्रीस इज। एंड फॉर दैट, टू डिफाइन द कंसिस्टेंसी ऑफ ए ग्रीस, you have a different or a special apparatus with defined geometry and defined volume of the grease that will be filled in this cup, and this cup will be this cone, it will be penetrated into the system, and depending upon the penetration that you can say how much grease, how much consistent this grease is. So according to NLGI, NLGI is the standard which side, this is National Lubricating Grease Institute, they decide this criteria. So NLGI grades, so 000, 000, 0, 1, 2, 3. So they have given different grades depending upon the depth or the penetration, 110 mm for this system. So they are giving this number, 445 to 470. So gear greases, bearing greases, so these 1 to 3, and these are the regular greases, mostly used greases. And block grease, so almost like solid. So what you can notice here, just see the numbers and tell me if something is, so we have given these ranges. If something is coming in between, suppose the range, we are saying 445 to 475. If something is coming here, because it's not starting what number is ending. If it's out of range, then in which category you will keep, and what it means, why they have not kept. ये रीजनिंग का क्वेश्चन समझ लो, इट्स नॉट टेक्निकल क्वेश्चन। रीजनिंग का क्वेश्चन है। सी what is the difference here?
30 difference होगा। 30 difference।
30 का डिफरेंस है समझे ना? 30 का हाफ कितना होता है? 15 को ऊपर नीचे ऐड करके देखो कितना आता है?
490।
So basically 15 is plus minus. So they have not mentioned, so 15 is the plus minus, and that much it can vary, and accordingly you can choose the range. And how greases flows, if you compare, so if you have to compare the flow, so flow means something liquid is flowing. नॉर्मली जाता है ना कि कुछ चीज़ फ्लो रही तो लिक्विड होगा, तो लिक्विड का फ्लो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स क्या है? दिस इज जैसे वाटर, सो इट्स कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ न्यूटोनियन. न्यूटोनियन इज द लिक्विड कैरेक्टरिस्टिक. इफ इट इज डेविएटिंग फ्रॉम हियर, इट्स नॉन न्यूटोनियन, एंड नॉन न्यूटोनियन कैन बी दिस, इट कैन बी दिस, और इट कैन बी दिस. बट इन द केस ऑफ ग्रीसेस, one case will be this one and other case will be this one. So when you are applying stresses, so if you now go by the axis, stress is plotted against shear rate. So if shear rate is increasing and your stress is increasing along with the increasing the shear rate, so that means what? This thickening is happening. If it is following this, so shear thickening is happening. मतलब if I take a piece of grease, I just make a ball, and you are able to make a solid ball. That means shear thickening is happening. And if I take a grease and I try to shear it, it is just wetting my hand or it's trying to flow. So that is when you are shearing, it is becoming thin, and that is what we want in our lubrication cases. And other thing, this shear thickening is something what if I am impacting. So bulletproof jackets, they are trying to exploit this principle. As soon as impact is coming, it should become thick and you should not cross that barrier. So that is what they are trying to develop, that kind of lubricant or that kind of additive behind the cloth, so that whenever the impact comes, it becomes solid, otherwise it's soft. So that is the shear thickening effect. And this is something taste. So they have this toothpaste, they have different characteristics. They have some stench, so they call, I don't know what is this. How does grease lubricate? This is best example how grease lubricates. इसके बाद तो पता नहीं चाहिए वो ग्रीस कैसे lubricate करता है. ये फिल्ड है, oil entrapped into this cavities, it comes out, and that point it releases out the oil and that lubricates the contact. So again that is step back curve. So here, yes, so it is same as we discussed in the last lecture. So here you can see if you are in this region. So here difference is this, you can see gears are marked in this area, valve. So engine system is marked here, and that as you can see this step curve is for engines, and boundary makes elastohydrodynamic, hydrodynamic. So in this portion your viscosity is crucial, and this your surface properties are crucial. And this is something what if you talk about the greases, so grease goes for churning phase, bleeding phase, and grease refill or the severe film breakdown. What is churning phase? This is something in last lecture we were talking about. Okay, what is the amount we should fill? If you have a space for say bearing, if you are just filling that all the space of the grease, all the space in between this case and ball and races with the greases. So it will fail immediately. It will fail immediately. That's why for all the bearings you have well defined quantity of the grease. You should use that much only. You get this much gram for this bearing, this much gram for this bearing. So 30% of this, 30% normally of the volume is filled, and for 24 hours you do, and some shear rates, this they specify particular this, and then grease will be doing the churning, and if it is not churning, it may not lubricate. So you should not fill that. And once the churning will start, you are now into that phase so that the stresses can be applied, your oil will come out. Then lubrication process will start. And once that is there, so then if more oil has came out, so that may bleed out. So if it is bleeded out means when it has to go back, then that can say starvation for the oil. So in next cycle you may feel there is less oil. And if it is going in one cycle, then again next cycle it is coming to the same track. So what is the ability of that grease to come into the track again? If it is not coming, because same is solid. One cycle, so it will go do its job. Next cycle, if grease is not coming on the path of the ball, then it may not activate. So what is the track replacement capacity of the greases? And this refill, almost same thing, but what is the film breakdown? Film breakdown means when you apply stresses, oil is there, your thickener on the sides, the film is there. So because of high stresses, now it's you can consider oil film is there. So if your contact pressure is high, so your oil film is broken now. So there is no one to take care of the contacting stresses or the lubrication process. So in this case, the role of severe or the extreme pressure additive comes. So whenever the film is breaking, there should be additives which should take care for the contact. So this is something what is the concept for environmental friendly. So this I can just skip. तो कुछ रिसर्च करें हम तो अबाउट these are the basic for the greases. So here let's do something about greases. We know what is the constituents. So oil before because here we said like we are trying to play with the additives. So if you want to play with the additives, so first you should know the response of additive into some existing or well established greases. So if you are finding that additive good there, then you can take, okay, this is good, I can use it to my system. So that's what we have selected here. So again, this is the composition concept. So these additives we are trying to play. So materials what we have taken for the greases. So here we have taken this lithium 12 hydroxysterate as thickener, and mineral oil is base oil, and in this these three nanoparticles or nano additives we have taken, which we want to explore, because one we have taken alumina. Alumina is inert to the environment, so we can look for the environmental friendly system, or whether it can be used for development of environmental friendly system or not. That is one thing. Calcium carbonate is environmental friendly, can we use that. Reduced graphene oxide is already reduced, so it will not damage the environment, it will lie as it is, either degrade or it will lie as it is. So at least we can say this won't be degrading the environment. So can we improve the property of existing lubricant, existing grease, and if it is so, so can we transport the understanding from here to the new greases? That can be a vegetable oil based system. So for tribological testing, we have selected steels and balls. So these are the discs, and steel balls. So some mechanical properties we have mapped here, some roughness we have mapped. So if you go by the literature, so in literature you can find what are the lubrication mechanisms, or basically how nanoparticle lubricates. So summary of that paper you can find from here. So nanoparticles, they can roll when they are between the surfaces, so that is called rolling effect. They can make a protective film, so that is called protective film formation. And other thing, if there are some roughnesses, so they can just pull out or pack down locally. So that is something about this bending effect. And other effect can be when surfaces are rough. So localized contact will be higher. So localized contacting stresses will be higher. So chances will be it can scratch out. But if you are adding some particles and they are irregular shape or say hard enough, so that they can polish the surface. So initially you can get high wear or worst performance or bad performance, but over the time they can do the polishing and then performance will be increasing. So this is something, some summary where you can say how nanoparticles lubricate or help in lubrication. So this is the way how we developed first grease. So it was not cooked like halwa. So that time we were not aware we can make greases like this, but we were aware because it's the oil which lubricates the contact. That much only we know. So if we change the quality of that oil itself and then send back it to the case is your thickener, then property should change. So that is what we did. So we mixed the nanoparticles into toluene. So what we did, we have a grease in one beaker. You take the nanoparticles in some solution. Some solution is that toluene. So toluene is something, it evaporates. And you heat the grease separately up to this temperature. So this temperature particularly we choose for the greases, and this after trial error we find that this temperature is fine. So at this temperature, when you are heating the grease, so your oil will bleed out. So it will bleed out from the thickener. So oil is now into the system. It is with the thickener, and when it is out, keep on mixing with the mechanical stirrer. Then you add that separate solution which you have discussed, maybe any nanoparticle. So in this case it was alumina, calcium carbonate and reduced graphene oxide. And that you add into the system, you mix it again, let it rotate or let it mix, and then let it cool to the room temperature, and you will get the nanocomposite grease. Why we call nanocomposite grease? Or basically, what do you mean by the composite grease now here? This is the system what we are calling nanocomposite greases. So if we are giving some name, so what do you mean by the composite? When one dimension is nano, we can say nanocomposite. So nano composite means
some nanoparticles.
ये nanoparticle तो nanocomposite को देगा. Composite metal को matrix composite क्यों बोलते हैं?
Fiber and composite से macro mixing, macro layer mixing.
नहीं macro mixing.
Metal matrix composite is the matrix is the.
In general composite को कैसे define करते हैं? इन जनरल कंपोजिट को कैसे डिफाइन करते हैं? कंपोजिट और अलाइन में डिफरेंस क्या है?
होमोजेनियस कंपोजिशन
नहीं, होमोजेनियस कंपोजिशन नहीं है. आप दोनों को अच्छे से मिक्स कर लो, दोनों में होमोजेनियस कंपोजिशन मिल जाएगा.
उसमें सर मिक्सर ऑफ फाइबर एंड रेजिन इन केस ऑफ लैमिनेटेड कंपोजिट आप
नहीं, वो आप प्रोसेस बता रहे हो, बट बेसिक डिफरेंस क्या है कंपोजिट और अलॉय में? Suppose we have iron carbon system, everybody know. Iron and carbon. So when you are adding iron, carbon into iron, it can react with the iron, carbon can react with the iron, it will form Fe3 phase. So Fe3 phase is formed because of the reaction between iron and carbon. and that is getting mixed into the system. And this product is coming because of this reaction process, and this is coming because of the some solubility limits and all, right? So this is an alloy, right? And composite is, we are saying, say suppose I am developing this wood, I will take wood particles, I will take Fevicol, mix them and press it, keep for 2 hours or 3 hours, so you are getting a composite. So you didn't change the property of any of the ingredient. Your glue is the same, only distribution style is changed, only the wood particles are the same. So in composite you are not changing the phase or the properties of the constituents. Only you are trying to exploit their best properties. Exploiting their best properties. That's what composite came into the existence.
So diffusion, there is no diffusion in also in composites.
Yes.
Or alloying is diffusion.
Composite, now people are trying to diffuse at the interface. Earlier when it was developed, that time it was just try to exploit the best property, but now if that interface is not diffused, so it will be weak composite. Now they are trying to diffuse that. And if this one of the constituent or one of the nanoparticle is your nano, then you can call it nanocomposite. Suppose if I want to give hybrid composite, then one more name is king. So like this name keep on revolving. So you can think.
We can add both type of additives like particulate fillers and fibrous fillers. That's also.
That categorization will depend upon the like fiber reinforced, particle reinforced. So that is you are talking about the categorization. So if hybrid means particles plus nano hybrid composite, so something like this people are giving names. So you can explore that area. So this is what the research plan for that is present. So this is something you develop the grease, characterize physically, rheology, and tribology, and try to make something out of this. This is purposefully I am presenting to you. This is a research plan for my PhD student. He is already awarded his degree. So this is the way. Like even Ajay, I asked him also. He presented his plan in a different way. But try to make a plan first. A plan means it should not be on 10 pages. It should be on a single page, and you should remember it. If you want to change, just add something here and delete something from here. So you have a defined way how to work with your system or with your development or with your PhD. Because now he is here, but he knows what he has to do. But if he don't have the plan, so he will be struggling with this. Okay, what is this student is doing? What other student is doing? And sometimes he will get that frustration. My work is not moving, and others' work is moving. So that is, I am on lagging side. My job title is bad. I am trapped. So if he has this plan, so he will be happy. Okay, I have one plan, and that is already established. Only thing I have to define that plan according to the instrumentation and the need which I need for that. So here we defined everything. We have to characterize well what are the instruments needed. Let's find those instruments. Rheology, we have to study what is the rheological, what can be used. Let us find that. Tribology, that is something what we have to study in the tribology, and try to correlate each and every aspect. So what are the results we got? This is, suppose if you have to characterize or you have to understand what you are adding, or what you are adding, that you have to characterize first. So these are the system. So this says your graphene, this is your calcium carbonate, this is your what? बताओ क्या है? हाँ कोई सोच नहीं गया है. So what you can notice, these are TEM images. So what you can notice from here, because TEM image is something you cannot see with your eyes. You have to comment based on this kind of images only. What you can comment? So comment for this figure is irregular shapes with some sharp edges. Because you can see this, because this much sharpness is very, so this scale 15 nanometer you can see, so this much length in this holes will be 15 nanometer. So 15 nanometer from here to here, this hole can be 15 nanometer. 15 nanometer can you see with your eyes? Even with the microscope it will be difficult. So this is very sharp. And in this you have some cubic systems you can find. I'm not able to explain, but we have analyzed many images and some representative image I'm showing you. So some particles are rod-like and some particles are cubic type. And this is your graphene. Graphene is something, how it looks like. So how TM works, how TM images you have to understand. So basically you can see this. And this system is something like this. So light or electron beam is passing from this side and it will be collected here. So when you will get image, so you will get same as this. You will get this black spot and you will get this also, my finger something like this. And it will be whole. So this is some same thing. The crumbled paper you can say, crumbled paper, and that you try to image. So some portion will be on back side, some portion will be on the front side, some portion will be coming in 2 times in the path of the beam. So this is the kind of crumbled paper you can say, that is the appearance. So basically it's a sheet of carbon which is crumbled, and that's what we are trying to use in this system. Okay, that is the appearance. So you can see that was the physical character. So what are the phases there? So that is, we use XRD. So these phases from these points or these numbers, basically you can use from the literature, you can find. So basically that will tell you whether it's alumina, what is it, the alpha alumina or not, whether it's calcium carbonate, not calcium carbonate was there or not, and this is for the graphene. So this signature, this is the signature, D band and G band this is. So this is confirmed here. So we confirmed what we have used by our own. Next, okay. We are saying this is nano composite grease. How you can confirm it is nano composite? Why? We can call it just micro composite, nano composite, composite only, composite grease. So we are saying because we mixed these nanoparticles into toluene, and after that mixing we see what is the particle distribution, whether it's nanometer size particle, micrometer size. So that we confirm from here. See, it's a 36. It's around 84 or 100 you can say. So different larger particles are also there, and here very big particles. So this is coming because it's crumbled papers. So crumbled papers, if it is coming this way in the path of the light, laser, so you will get this size. But if it is coming this way, then you will get, so it's very big. So that's why here, at least one dimension we are getting, but because they are sheets, we are getting very distributed pattern here. But we are having one dimension to nanometer size also. Okay. So when we developed these greases, so I always prefer benchmarking. Means if I am developing some greases or some system I am developing, so what is my starting point? So what is the response of the commercial grease? So we took one commercial grease. We buy one grease that was what was the thickener name? Carbonate base. So that thickener. So this grease looks like this. Then the grease where we added RGO, it was looking like this, and where we added calcium carbonate. So what difference you can see? These are again TM images. इसमें difference अगर आपने बता दिया तो then your job is done.
In the previous images, we can see that the alumina particles size is the more disaligned form in cubic, not in cubic form. So I think this technique, shear technique will matter here.
ओके और क्या दिख रहा है? ये देखो, एक तो आप यहाँ से शुरू करो कि हमारा बेस क्या है, कहाँ से हम स्टार्ट करें. स्टार्ट यू सी सम फाइबर्स एंड इन दिस केस देयर इज नो फाइबर. सो बेसिकली फाइबर disappeared, and disappeared means they are damaged, they didn't exist anymore. So if there is no fiber, who is there to hold the oil? क्यों? अगर आपका नेटवर्क ही खत्म हो गया टूट के, तो ऑयल को कौन होल्ड करेगा? Particles cannot hold. Up to some extent, that's why we got some performance also. ये कुछ परफॉर्म नहीं किया उसने, but if your system to hold the oil is no more there, so basically because we selected and we have to give some comparison, otherwise from here itself only we would have rejected this system is not going to work. But being a scientist, we develop some system, it's our responsibility to test the performance. So maybe in that case the rolling of the nanoparticles that start, you never know, if nanoparticles they start roll, so instead of sliding you can get rolling friction. That friction may be much lower, so we cannot discard any development. So if what you can see here, so here you can see this paper crumbled portion, they are trying to wrap around the fibers, right? The graphene is trying to wrap around with the fiber, and here rod like calcium carbonate, it is trying to sit along with the fiber. Now go back to your mechanical engineering. If you have to strengthen some structure, what you should do? Suppose some pillar is there. Suppose this, you can see this rod or any structure you can take. Suppose you have this column, you are going to apply some load. If you have to strengthen this, what you will do? Strain hardening कैसे करोगे structure में? That नहीं, आप इसके साथ में इसकी property को बढ़ाओगे ना? Either if something is standing along this or trying to modify this, इस fiber का जो property है वो तो improve हो गया ना? So basically, its ability to withstand the stresses will improve, should improve in these two cases. Right? Because you have something to support. And same thing, this again the chemical preparation, you can just come to the results correctly. So rheology we studied the flow behavior. So some different instrumentation parameters we have mentioned this time. Well not going to do this. So this is something rheology we recorded. So just quickly I will go. Only the performance I will be showing you. See, black one, color you can follow. Black one is the standard system, right? And red one is your alumina. So dynamic viscosity अगर कम हो रहा है, तो basically वो thin हो गया है. It cannot support the load. तो ये सही नहीं है, खराब हो गया. So सबसे अच्छा कौन सा हुआ? Green one. Green one is calcium carbonate. उसके बाद आपका blue is your RGO. So this many combinations, 1%, 7%, 0.6%, 4%, 3%. So we try to explore the effect of concentration, and based on this we can say what is the optimum concentration of each doping into the oil or into the greases, so that we can commentate. Should not, because each and every nanoparticle having costly. And other aspect, if you see, when these nanoparticles are going to the environment, definitely they will go to the environment. But this is a grease case, so we will try to encapsulate or we'll try to keep into the system so that it should not go. But ultimately we have to throw it after some time. So what effect they are going to pose on the environment, we don't know. Nobody has studied कि nanoparticle का response क्या होगा environment पे और आपका human health पे. अब यहाँ पर देखिए आप अगेन ब्लैक इसमें कहीं है, हाँ यार ब्लैक की रेस्पॉन्स यहाँ पर है, तो दिस शियर स्ट्रेस वर्सेस स्ट्रेन। सो ब्लैक ऑलमोस्ट रेड के बराबर ही आ रहा है यहाँ पे। तो ग्रीन नैनो पार्टिकल ने यहाँ पे कुछ रोल किया इस परफॉर्मेंस को अगर देखते हैं तो अल्फा एल्यूमिना इट इज ऑलमोस्ट लाइक कॉमर्शियल सिस्टम, बट इफ यू सी द ग्रीन पोर्शन स्टिल इट इज बिहेविंग बेटर। सो स्ट्रेस वर्सेस स्ट्रेन, इफ यू सी दिस स्ट्रेस वर्सेस स्ट्रेन, सो स्ट्रेस स्ट्रेन कर्व व्हाट इट सेज, स्ट्रेस स्ट्रेन कर्व क्या देता है, स्ट्रेस स्ट्रेन कर्व नहीं पता है, ऐसा मत बोलो, यील्ड पॉइंट देता है, ओके हाँ, मतलब मोस्ट ऑफ द मैकेनिकल प्रॉपर्टी यू कैन फाइंड फ्रॉम द स्ट्रेस स्ट्रेन कर्व। नाउ इन द सेम वे if this is stress strain curve for my grease, so this is the grease which can withstand highest stresses then followed by this set of grease, right? So this is the understanding or the beauty of this kind of experiments is there, and you can correlate always with the, whenever you feel like I am not able to understand, try to use your mechanical logics. So okay, so these all property from those curves which we have shown to you. So there is some equation, we call that Hertzsprung-Berkeley equation, and based on that you can say what you can identify from here, just quickly. Again, statistics peoples, क्या दिख रहा है यहाँ पे, लिखा भी मैंने, नंबर्स में देख के क्विकली बताओ। शियर स्ट्रेस ये आपका रेफरेंस है, एल्यूमिना ने कम कर दिया, RGU ने इसने काफी बढ़ा दिया, that's what we recorded just now, and defective index almost same, drop point कोई ज्यादा नहीं आया, but in case of this is hardness, you can see hardness basically the penetration, and what we have given the name to the hardness, we should not use hardness, consistency. So which grease is highest, having highest consistency? इसमें एल्यूमिना नहीं, उल्टा होता है इसलिए जितना पेनिट्रेटर आपका नीचे गया मींस इतना सॉफ्ट हो, उतना ही उसकी स्ट्रक्चर खत्म हो, जितना कम है उतना अच्छा। So 271, so this is better. So you can identify from here this, or this kind of plotting you can do for the research. So this is again okay from here. So okay, here you can see this G dash is the loss modulus and shear modulus. तो डिफरेंस क्या दोनों में, तो इसमें एक बेसिकली एक आपका मैकेनिकल प्रॉपर्टी को डिनोट करता है और एक आपका लॉस प्रॉपर्टी को, मतलब हाउ मच एनर्जी यू कैन स्टोर और हाउ मच एनर्जी यू कैन गिव बैक। If you are applying stresses, so how much energy you can store into the system, and once you remove the load, how much you can go back. So that is, so अगर आप देखते हो इसमें तो you can just come to the next slide. So this is almost the best we have selected for those. So filled and open you can follow. So if you follow the black with this open denotes 1. यहाँ पे लिखा है एक जोड़ भी आएगा, तो G डैश जो है आपका ये ग्रीस के लिए, और ये G डबल डैश लॉस मॉडुलस है अनफिल्ड। सो जहां पर ये क्रॉस करते हैं अप टू हियर योर up to this point shear property dominates and other properties की flow property dominates up to this point, because after this you see one is crossing other, so up to the crossover points you are saying the crossover point, this is the crossover points, shear property dominates and after that point flow property dominates. So ability to shear and ability to flow. These are the two mechanisms how this lubricant or grease can lubricate. So better, or this side it is. Other thing, what is the maximum gap you can get between these two? Maximum gap and how much far this side. So these are the two entities you have to keep in mind. So in case of your commercial grease, we have somewhere this number, but in case of alumina, it almost damaged, and there is almost no gap between these two, or the minimum gap between these two. Maximum gap is coming in what case? Green, blue one, and blue is your blue क्या है? एक चीज देखा आपने वहाँ पे कलर कोड को भी हमने फॉलो किया है. Blue is for RGO. So like these all the things you should keep in your mind. Even if 5 minutes, 2 minutes relax, then I will go for. So this something what we are trying to. Okay, what is the response we are doing? Cyclic loading. So we got this kind of response. So in case of blue, still you can follow much better response we are getting, and in this way this is our grease is better, and we can perform or develop nanocomposite greases. And if you see the used greases from the track we have taken, so this is the something commercial grease structure is damaged, but in case of these two greases, you can see the graphene is still trying to strengthen the fiber. So that's why it is working, and the recovery is 100%. Okay. So I will stop here. Thank you. This is the mechanism last slide. So if your grease is able to enter, again it can shear, and what is the ability to release the oil, what is the ability to come back with the original position, and that will lead to the finally lubrication. Thank you. Any questions? Questions, please. So next slides, I will say acknowledgements. So Ankit Saxena, he developed that he is working into greases. Jayant, he did this PhD work, and Dr. Khatri supplied graphene. Sinani used this gap center facility, and I was thinking to give a quiz. So you can answer this quiz. If you are not asking questions to me, so these are the questions from my side to you. So this will say how much attentive you are during the lecture. So क्या लगता है पहले क्वेश्चन आंसर? Okay, keep on thinking and keep on. You can take snap. You can send me the answers. मुझे भेज देना. किसने? कौन सा क्वेश्चन क्या बोला आपने? क्या? What are the sum of the parameter on which the viscosity of the lubricant depends? Parameters. Viscosity of lubricant. Temperature, pressure आपका, pressure viscosity index. You can find from the literature. Okay. No questions? हीट का, यस, आप डिपेंड करता है कितना हीट कर रहे हो, बिकॉज हीटिंग साइकिल का भी हमने इसमें रिकॉर्ड किया था. अगर आप कुछ भी नहीं कर रहे हो, नो लोडिंग, जस्ट टेक ग्रीस एंड हीट इट रिपीटेडली, So if you are, suppose that drop point is one property of the grease. Drop point is something you, मतलब अगर आप theoretically जाओ उसमें तो you have a cone and known amount of grease you will fill into that and you heat, and the temperature at which you see the first drop of oil, that is dropping point. So suppose that dropping point for a grease is 100 degrees centigrade. So now you heat that grease up to 60 degrees centigrade. So you keep on repeating this cycle for say 10 days.